Welcome, Virgo, to your monthly horoscope for October for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Also, I'd like to briefly tell you about your celestial blueprint for year 2021. Based on your unique data, personal data of time, date and place of birth, I'll give you the rest of 2023 plus that 12-month forecast for 21 and a character analysis and also 30% off. Please see the link beneath this video. This will help you to ascend above your zodiac sign and embrace what your chart is saying for you, the individual, for the upcoming year. But in terms of this month, well, it starts off in a very exciting way because we have a full moon. A full moon for you, which is in the sign of Aries, which is very much about passions. It's about where you're most invested. On the other side of the heavens, the sun is in the part of your scope that's to do with your everyday resources, but also your self-worth. It's possible, I feel, that some kind of juggling may need to go on in the first 2 weeks of this month, particularly if you are wanting to be more free and easy with your resources, and perhaps even in a more speculative frame of mind, because you do have that cluster of energy still continuing in your fifth solar house, which is very much to do with self-expression, love, children, the things that really give us a great uplift in life. But it is an area too where we can be more risk-taking. Now, of course, the restrictive energies of Saturn are there. So it just suggests, I feel, that on this particular full moon, that it's going to be important to be very considered about how you spend money and how you try to balance the books. But on the 3rd of this month, a glorious event. Venus, the planet of love and affection, moves into your sign, and it's going to be there through to the 27th. This gives you a fantastic chance to really change your personal profile in some way. That could be through a glamorous makeover. It could be about rethinking some of your creative talents and how you can project them to the world out there. Your individuality is going to be supercharged by this, and that can draw a lot of magic to you, and perhaps also a new admirer, which could see your pulse racing quicker. Now, it's also the case that this month, as it begins, there is a conjunction between Chiron and also that particular full moon. Now, Chiron's very much about wounds. If you are quite concerned about your longer term resources or the amount of commitment that somebody has to you in an intimate tie, that wouldn't be a surprise and it would be understandable. But you know, by the 8th, the sun is starting to forge a right angle with that cluster of energy in the sign of Capricorn. And it's just saying to you, I feel, that your sense of self-worth is critical to any part of your situation where you're trying to manifest greater creativity and flair. Now, because Mars and Pluto are in quite a squabble this month for the first 3 weeks, this is not a time to push something right to a cliff edge if it's not working well. So try to keep the lines of communication open. And of course, your ruling planet is Mercury, the planet of communication. And ironically, that's actually in a very positive part of your horoscope in terms of the 3rd house as you start this month, but it is in its shadow period. What does the shadow mean? Well, it's the period before and after the retrograde, where Mercury is slowing down. So by the time it does get into the retrograde on the 14th, I think by then there may be a few kind of snags, misunderstandings possible. But once the retrograde begins, don't see this as an absolutely negative phase. See it as an opportunity to revisit the 2 areas that it's going to influence. One is everyday communications, and the second, from the 28th, when Mercury inverts into the sign of Libra, is your resources. So really check over how things are going in terms of your communications, in terms of your personal management or thinking, or anything to do with paperwork and documentation will benefit from a great deal of care and precision. Now, on the 14th, Mercury goes retrograde, of course, but by the 16th we have a new moon. Now, this new moon for you can be good for your finances. Again, if you're not too gung-ho with your resources. So if you're someone who does really like to enjoy some retail therapy, whether it's online or in a physical store, it's just saying to you, just try to be a bit more conscious of why you might be doing that. Also, if you're drawn to someone romantically this month, you may have to ask yourself the question, what are their values and what are yours? Because I think the most unifying thing in any relationship is having similar values. So even if there are other areas that we don't quite have the same interests, or we may see things a little bit differently, if those core values around, our belief system, manners, honesty, these kind of things are very much in tune with a partner, then we can overcome some tensions. But if those areas are weaknesses in a relationship, doesn't matter if it's personal, a friendship or a professional tie, I think there could be a point of conflict this month. Now, on the 18th through to the 24th, there's a gorgeous alliance between Venus and that cluster of energy in the sign of Capricorn, which just goes to show that we can't see anything in astrology in a one-dimensional way. We have to keep looking at the big picture. You also have Jupiter in Capricorn forging a magical angle to Neptune in your sector of relating all through this month. So if you meet someone who really inspires you or you connect with, whether it is around something that you both enjoy in a more mystical context or a new age or personal development context, or it is more a sociable one, then it can be a very uplifting tie. What we can't deny is that Saturn, as I said before, can be quite limiting. So if there is a romantic relationship or a friendship or an interest which is not giving you the pleasure that you really would crave, I do think that you may have to look at it. But this link from the 18th through to the 24th can really bring some real positive and solid and affirming energies in an affectionate tie to the fore. Or if you're a more creative person, you can really get the form and function together in a very positive way. Now, the 23rd sees your life speed up, get more exciting as the sun powers into Scorpio, where it will be for the following 4 weeks. This is a great opportunity to tell people about your ideas, get more interactive, enjoy a sense of moving around more. You obviously could be affected by the situation with COVID, but where possible, an increase in your physical activity and your mental activity can be very positive. Now, the 28th sees Mercury invert back into Libra, but also sees Venus move into Libra too. And that is wonderful for you because it could be that the creative project you've been working on or something else, just some good stuff, can all come together as this month comes to a close, and your finances could really enjoy an upswing which could absolutely delight you, especially after that rather testing full moon at the start of the month. Now, your ruler Mercury is challenged by Saturn in the last 4 days of this month, and there could be one relationship where, with the best will in the world, however much you try hard to express yourself clearly and fairly, someone could take it the wrong way. When Mercury and Saturn are at odds, it just dims the flame a little bit. So just be conscious of that. But there is a very special new moon on the last day of this month. It's a blue moon and it's in the sign of Taurus, which, like you, is an earth sign. But for you, it's very much about expansion, shaking things up, being more adventurous and spontaneous. And because Uranus is linking to this new moon, I think you'll crave some kind of excitement in the following 2 weeks. And if you're lacking it, well, there's a lack of truth around a relationship because Uranus can push us to be a little bit more confrontational. That truth may need to be expressed, but once it's ventilated, the air can flow, and that can actually be a very positive thing. But you could find yourself setting off an unexpected journey somewhere as this month draws to a close. Perhaps the air avenues that are being used could open up an opportunity, and someone may say to you, look, I've got an opportunity to go to so-and-so, do you want to come? And it could all be last minute, quite quick moving, but very exciting. Then again, you may need to express your ideas on something in a bit more of a radical, perhaps even authentic way. I'm not saying that you're lacking authenticity, more that you have a chance to be the real you rather than being quite so much of a people pleaser as this month draws to a close. So it's quite a varied feast for you this month. Very exciting with the two full moons and the new moon, but it's definitely very influenced by that cluster of energy in your fifth solar house. And the fifth solar house is what we really desire in life. But Saturn being in the mix suggests we won't necessarily get it all on the terms we want. But I think generally what you're wanting, especially by the end of this month, is greater excitement, but in a way that feels safe in terms of your financial situation. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck, take care, stay safe, and goodbye.